Hey, happy Tuesday morning. I have something exciting to share. So some of you guys saw that we just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. So what's with the 27th anniversary? Well, today is the day that I signed my agreement to be to start my own little side hustle, as they often call it now, and have loved every minute of it, have learned so much over the years. And so I am, coming to you unfinished and gonna turn this into a little get ready with me this morning, and just share a little bit of my story with you at the same time, and just things that I've learned over the years. And so normally I share any of the get ready with me ideas and tips privately in my separate group. But I thought, you know what, this is me. This is 27 years of my life, so more than half of my life with this one company. And why have I stayed with it so long? Well, I think a big part of it is, when you find a company that your values are in alignment with what they teach and with their mission, then you know you're in the right place. So so for me, what they always taught us, what Mary Kay always said, was to put your faith first, your family second, and your career third, and things will go well in life. And gosh, so true. It sounds so simple, but it's not, right? When we have so much noise, right, coming at us every day, especially now, whether it be the media, social media, there's just a lot of noise, as I call it. And good morning. Yes, thanks for jumping on. So I think if we can always come back to that, God first, family second, career third, it'll get us through, right? And we all have those times, whether it be our relationship or our jobs or things with our kids, that they can be tough. And but when I go back to that, that's what gets you through. So to backtrack 27 years or more than that, I guess it's probably closer to 28. We my sisters and I all had a really hard time with our skin, and my I believe my mom had a party, and then my sister held a party, and Darren and I were married and living in Rugby at the time, but I'm originally from down by the Linton-Strasbourg area. So for all of the people or friends who are new to me, you're going to get to hear a little bit, I guess, about me and get to know me better today. So my sister had a party back home, and that was the first time I'd ever tried the products. And when I got there, I remember I'm like, oh my goodness, your skin, it looks so good. And she's like, yeah, this finally worked for me. That's why I held this party. Okay, so she hosted that party, and like I said, that was the first introduction to it for me. And I didn't know at the time that I had allergies to a lot of stuff. Of course, they weren't real defined or clear at the time. I never did any tests or anything like that. But I know that finally finding a product that cleared up my skin, of course, that's what got me hooked. But it was the fact that it was finding something that was fragrance-free, safe for sensitive skin, non-comedogenic, right? So it doesn't clog your pores or make you break out. Finding something that finally did all of that for me made a huge difference. And so I used it for several months, and my consultant had told me about it. The business opportunity, she's like, Jackie, I think you'd be great with this. Have you ever considered something like this just to make a little extra money? And, you know, at the time, like I said, we had just been living in Rugby for a short while, so I didn't know anybody up there yet, hardly anybody. I had just finished doing my student teaching and was working at the school as a teacher's aide, or full-time para, as they're called now, for $6 an hour with no benefits. And so I was working then, took on 3 additional part-time jobs where I did designing for different companies. I cleaned offices. I worked as a CNA up at the hospital. So did all these things because, of course, I had that 4-year degree now to pay for, right? So that's what I did. Well, and growing up on a dairy farm, I had the work ethic, but I was actually very quiet, very, very quiet growing up, very shy. So that was my first thing too, was, you know, I'm like, I hardly know anybody up here, thinking I had to be only local. I also said, you know, I have never even sold a Girl Scout cookie. I've never sold a Girl Scout cookie, so there it showed. My first concern was, okay, but I have to sell. And so in my mind was this, you know, I have to be some pushy salesperson or even like a Girl Scout who has to try to hustle at these certain times and, you know, set up tables, right? Well, she's like, that's okay. First of all, no one wants to be sold to, right? None of us want to be sold to, but we do want to buy, and we do want to learn. And she said, well, why did you go into teaching? And I said, well, because I love helping people. Oh, got a little bit mascara there. I love helping people move from here to here and seeing that light bulb go on, right? And just that difference. And she said, that's all you need to do. Teach them about the products, help them find what's going to be best for them, and the rest will take care of itself. At the end, they'll tell you what they want. that easy. I'm like, oh, okay. So that I can do. And so that's how I started it. I just thought, well, it became my way to meet people and get to know people in our small town that I was in at the time. And yet I could grow anywhere. So it was a great way for me to get to connect with women from all over, all my girlfriends from college and old classmates from high school and all of that. It just, it became a great reason to reconnect. And so that's my story, I guess, when I got started. And so I was able to slowly let go of all those part-time jobs, and I took Mary Kay as my part-time job so I could work when I wanted to work. And it just took off from there. Just helping women feel good about themselves again, and just, I always say, fall in love with that person in the mirror again. So so that's my story. And of course, over the years, when we moved from rugby to Bismarck, right before we moved, we finally found out we were expecting. And so it became the open door for me, that ability to be able to make that choice, because we definitely depended on my income too, to be able to say, you know what, let's go for directorship and basically just a leader in the company. And so I've helped so many women from there, be able to have that same opportunity to raise their babies and be home and keep those priorities in order. So I just love my life. I love my life, and I love even more that, like I said, it doesn't have to be just for me, because it's not, like I said, there's no territory. So I was able to grow, and I've been able to help other women, have those same choices. And now I'm at a different stage of life, right? So now the boys are grown, and with Darren traveling so much for his work over the last 20 years almost, it's definitely been a blessing, because I've been able to work around him and still, again, keep my priorities in order and build my business at the same time. So now I get to do the same thing, and I hope that my story inspires other young women and young mamas to be able to say, I want to be able to have that, and that they can have it too. Now even easier, and even more so, because everything's gone online, right? I can do my entire business from home. I always said I wish I had it already even in college, because instead of working at night and feeling totally stressed because I have all these tests the next day, I would have been able to work when I wanted to work. And then even too, been able to work it, around my babies. And really I remember holding skincare parties and having to, step away to nurse or whatever, cover up, and they were fine. And, you just make it work. And women are wonderful and understanding that way. And it's just real life, right? So now it's kind of seeing that that ability to, that it, can help as well toward retirement. And just those choices and some of those freedoms of trips, etc. Gosh, the company has treated us to 13 different cars over the years, and because of that extra income, it paid for boats, it helped pay for our house, it paid for the camper, it paid for our 20th anniversary. We took our boys to Cancun with us. So, I mean, just some of those trips that I wouldn't have had, where when a lot of us are living kind of paycheck to paycheck, and you don't always have that extra fun money, this gave it to me, and this gave it to us. And so, yes, so very grateful. And now, like I said, now we get to think ahead and think on those next steps and travel more. And yes, so we've been having fun on the bike, and we have a small toy hauler, and we, get to travel more with that as well. So, anyways, I just did a quick, easy 2-minute kind of look as I was visiting with you today and kind of sharing my story. And I hope that helps you just get to know me a little bit better, and that it encourages you that if you have, a goal on your heart to do something more, and whether it's completely stepping away and starting some sort of business on your own, and new businesses are just popping up left and right. And like I said, with the e-commerce ability now, it's just something that I encourage you. And yes, and if of course you'd love to hear more or visit more, I'd love to share more too. So thank you so much for jumping on. And if you are one of my friends and customers and don't have a consultant and would love to hear more, I do have a separate community where I share tons of tips, how to work with hooded eyes, how to work with the aging skin, and also just tons of self-confidence, self-esteem, and faith-based affirmations in there as well. So I'd love to invite you, and I am doing a special 27th anniversary promo for the next 2 days. So if you'd love to hear more, comment below, message me, all the above, and I'd be happy to share more with you. All right, hope you guys are off to a terrific Tuesday, and thanks again for listening and all your support over the years.